pitches, grounded softly, thrown into left field. Espinal will score. Everybody at 90 feet, and Derek Bernard drives in the go-ahead run.
Welcome to In the Den, your inside look at the Fresno Grizzlies and another great homestand, albeit just 3 games. As the Grizzlies celebrated Independence Day, they're still celebrating as we wrap up here at Chitnis Park. But I had a great opportunity this week to check in with one of the Grizzlies' leading sluggers, Kevin Fitzer. But first, we're going to check in with Shashwat Chitnis, the Grizzlies' technology assistant who works for the Colorado Rockies. Welcome back on In the Den, and joined by a special guest today, the Rockies technology assistant here in Fresno with the Grizzlies, Shashwat Chitnis. Shash, thanks so much for taking the time out and talking to us.
Appreciate you, man.
You have a great story because I think people don't always understand some of the staff that helps these players develop. You understand coaches, you understand executives, I think for the most part, but it's a little misleading with your title because you help coach, but you help kind of interpret some of the analytics and get the data out there. Can you just first of all explain to people what your role is with the Grizzlies?
Yeah, so as a technology assistant, I'm overseeing the player video, the analytics in terms of TrackMan data, advanced scouting when we play other teams, how are we attacking them, and then just everything in between that. Just helping out, assisting coaches, scouts, our personal scouts on if they need any info on, opposing guys. I'll help our coaches if they want specific information on how pitches are working, or I'll help hitting coaches out with what's working, what's not. Are we swinging early, or are we taking too much? Little things like that. So it's a little bit of everything. There's not one way to do it, but as you know, as the season goes, there's different things that come up, and just trying to solve problems wherever we can.
Well, I was going to say, 30 years ago in baseball, the coaches would get maybe a printed packet of stats that would have batting average, how many home runs a guy has hit, maybe how many RBIs, but that doesn't necessarily tell you the story of why that's happening, and that's kind of what you get to dig into, because it's not just, okay, this guy's hitting 350, this guy's hitting 400 against a fastball that moves a certain way.
Exactly, yeah. It gives you more color into it. A lot of times before, and those traditional stats still have their place in the game, but now it's like we can go deeper into it and know, when Scalvy's making a pinch hitting decision, who's on the bench, who could hit that specific reliever out there better. It gives us just more color and more of an understanding to make a educated guess, but at the end of the day, the gut still matters.
They still got to go play it and perform. But I think that's a valuable transition because you have been in that role. You played college baseball. You coached baseball. First of all, explain to people kind of your journey and where you started and how you ended up in a role where you are dealing with all these analytics.
Yeah, so I grew up in Irvine, California, really good baseball hotbed, Orange County, a lot of big leaguers around everywhere. And I graduated from Beckman High School. Right out of Beckman, I went to Cypress College, played in the fall, and I ended up getting cut. So I didn't know, what to do. I ended up going back to Beckman High School and coaching the freshman team over there. And at that point, I started learning about driveline baseball and all these new progressive ways of player development, and I started using myself as a guinea pig along with while I was coaching to essentially build myself up to go play community college baseball at City College of San Francisco. And then after that, I ended up going to University of Valley Forge, a small Division III college in Pennsylvania, and I met a couple guys who ended up inspiring me that also had the dream of working in professional baseball, and we just started going out to Camden Yards, Nationals Park, and handing out our resumes and trying to find any way to network and just understand how we could get in the game. And we started discovering these new technologies and trying them out. So we did all these projects. We went out to the winter meetings, sent our stuff over. I ended up getting internship with Blast Motion. It was actually funny. I was in the elevator. It was that classic, hey, like a guy gives you a business card in the elevator thing.
True elevator pitch.
Yeah, true elevator pitch. And I ended up going on in the Cape Cod Baseball League with Blast Motion in 2019. That was my first dive into the transition between college and professional, because you had some of the best college athletes there, and learning how the tech influenced that. So I worked with bat sensor technology.
Nice.
And what we did was we gathered data and pretty much sold that to the major league organizations for the upcoming MLB draft. So going into that, I ended up building some connections and was fortunate to get a job with the Phillies, player development associate, essentially doing similar role to what I'm doing here. 3 weeks into spring training, pandemic happened, 2020, ended up getting furloughed. So I drove across the country and took a Division III coaching job at University of Valley Forge, back my alma mater. Ended up coaching there, recruiting, and kind of learning more about like the scouting side of things. And then was fortunate enough to get an offer from the Chicago Cubs to be at their high A affiliate, South Bend, doing as a minor league video contractor. And at that point I started learning about how the objective data really dives into the day-to-day operation of a game. So from there I ended up going to the San Francisco Giants in San Jose as a technology assistant over there. And then in 23 I got hired by the Rockies, and I came here to Fresno.
And fell in love.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Well, 22 I actually fell in love with Fresno first. Because, being a Giant in Fresno, it's actually like you get treated really well here.
Sure.
So great people, great atmosphere. And when the Rockies had offered me the position, I was excited because I knew what Fresno was all about and the people here. So 23 was an awesome year. Best record. Unfortunately, we didn't make the playoffs. And then 24, I was in Albuquerque, and then 25, I'm back here. But yeah, the journey kind of came from getting cut, and this is where I ended up here.
So when you talk about that, where do you see kind of your role and the analytics of that moving over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think we're going to be, and we're already there at a point that everyone has the same information. And I think the big thing, like in someone in my role, is what's the communication is going to go back to important. The human element, as we like to say, is going to go back to being more important, because at the end of the day, we have all of it, and these guys understand it. They grew up with it. So now showing them these numbers isn't going to be something that wows them, because they're growing up with this development. They can go on Twitter, they can go on TikTok, they can learn about all this stuff as their kids. So now it's going to be like, how can we get someone to do something? That's going to be the big thing. How can we convince them, simplify it where they can just take action on it?
Well, and I think that's big, and you and I have talked, like I have 2 young boys who are just starting playing baseball in general, and it's so much more about the simple things and doing those well and to the best of your ability, that by the time you get to the pros, you have created those habits that are easily modified, right? Yeah. And easily improved upon.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's good that you tell your kids that, because I spent most of my pro ball career in A ball. Luckily, last year I got to go to AAA and see a little bit of guys who have succeeded in the major leagues, and I was really excited going into the year thinking like, wow, what am I going to see? And what I realized was they had the most boring, simple process every day. It was just they did the same thing every day, and that was the big thing. Like tell your kids simple and be consistent is what's huge.
Yeah, there's a joke. There was a TV show that they used to say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's this thing where simple is boring, but boring is consistent, and consistent is exciting.
Exactly.
Well, Shash, I really do appreciate you. You have a great baseball mind. I appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us, get to know your journey a little bit, and looking forward to a good rest of the second half.
I appreciate it, Tim. Thank you, man.
Shash Chitnis will be right back with more In the Den. We'll take a look at what the Grizzlies did this week against the Modesto Nuts right after this.
Well, it's a hot one, and for one of the final times in the history of these two organizations, the Fresno Grizzlies are at John Thurman Field visiting the Modesto Nuts for the first of 3 games here in Modesto. Butler's 1-0 pitch, and Kalaz hammers it deep left field. This ball's back. Feliz looking, watching Palakaye off of the scoreboard. 6th homer of the year for Robert Kalaz. He hit it to the left of his picture on the Jumbotron. Kalaz gives the Grizzlies the lead. So Butler was cruising. Now he'll face Derek Bernard. And Bernard lines one down the left field line into the corner. This ball is hooking, and it bounces fair just inside the chalk, and it's going to bounce away from the wall. A ground rule double for Bernard. Payoff pitch. Butler deals a slider served into left center field. This ball is going to drop, and Bernard will come around to score. An RBI single for Kevin Fitzer. The Grizzlies have 3 2-out hits in the first inning. Now Butler kicks in deals, and Hinderleiter lines it up the middle into center field. Fitzer being waved around. The throw from Kova way offline, and Fitzer will score. Hinderleiter takes second. It's 4 2-out hits. And it's 3-0 Grizzlies. Starting to see Kalaz get more and more comfortable at the plate. 1-1, and he hammers this one deep left field. Back goes Feliz again. He can only watch. It's off the scoreboard again. Palakaye. Robert Kalaz, 2 homers in his first 2 at-bats. And the Grizzlies lead it 4-1. This was a breaking ball down. And Kalaz blasts his 7th home run of the year. This one 427 feet to the deeper part of the park. Payoff pitch. Jimenez takes breaking ball. Caught strike 3. Oh, he's fancy. Catlett gets him looking. The pitch from Catlett. Chased in the dirt. Good block by Espinal. He'll recover. Throw to first. And get the out as Everett Catlett has back-to-back strikeouts. Ramirez 0-2 pitch. He checks the runner on second, delivers, swing and a miss. A fastball got him. It's a glorious Tuesday night. The Grizzlies are victorious. A final from John Thurman Field as Fresno takes the series opener 4-1. Robert Kalaz, 2 home runs. The 3-run first inning, all with 2 outs. Everett Catlett, 6 strong innings to earn the win, and Felix Ramirez shuts it down with a 3-inning save. And the Fresno Grizzlies wrap up a 3-game set here at John Thurman Field against the Modesto Nuts tonight. 1-2, slider chased. Swing and a miss by Dykstra, and Jackson Cox strikes out the side in the second. So both pitchers feeding into the crowd tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes to St. Laurent. Cox from the wind. 1-2 pitch. Curveball chase down and away. That was filthy. Cox will walk off the mound muttering to himself. He threw a really good inning. Tried to recover. He is dealing with a career high right now. His 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Espinal applies the tag. And Jackson Cox with 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. He has struck out the side in 3 straight innings. Now big slow kick and a breaking ball grounded through the left side and into left field. Espinal being waved around. He's going to score, and it's a tie game on an RBI hit by Roynier Hernandez. One-two pitch, and he rakes it over the first baseman and into right field. Clifford, big turnaround first. Piccolo fields it in front of the warning track. Strong throw to second, late and off the mark. It's a leadoff double for Nolan Clifford in the 7th. 2-0 pitch. Zerpa's breaking ball launched deep left field. Back goes Kova at the warning track. It is gone! Palakaye! 8th homer of the year for Kalaz. And there's the insurance the Grizzlies were looking for. It's a 4-run lead in the 9th. 3-2 pitch from Zerpa. He deals, and Fitzer grounds it sharply through into left center field. Bernard's racing around third. He will score. Kevin Fitzer, the RBI knock, makes it 6-1. Flared to third, caught by Hidalgo, and that will do it. It's a glorious Thursday night. The Grizzlies are victorious. The final score, Fresno 6, Modesto 4.
1, 2, 3.
Play ball!
Let's go, Grizzlies!
It's the fourth game of 6 in a row between the Modesto Nuts and the Fresno Grizzlies, but the first of 3 here at Chuck Chansey Park. 2-1 to Celestin. Mena kicks and deals. A sharp ground ball to second. To his right, Hernandez dives, stops, and throws out Celestin to end the inning. 0-1 pitch, and Hotvey crushes this one deep into right center field. It's going to drop down into the gap. Over to it is Feliz, but not before Hotvey cruises into second with the leadoff double. There's the first hit of the night for Fresno, and it comes off the bat of the Fresno State product. To Kalaz, Hotvey off third. The pitch is popped up into right center field. That's going to send Feliz back, and it will be deep enough. Feliz will make the catch. Hotvey will tag and score easily. That is a productive at-bat because the Grizzlies are on the board. 1-2 pitch, and he lines this one into right center. That was a great piece of two-strike hitting. Got a breaking ball that Ford left up, and now he's hustling for second. The throw gets away from St. Laurent, and Hidalgo ends up with a double. Ford delivers, and this ball is driven into right field. That's going to send Feliz back. Feliz trying to get behind it, will make the catch. Hidalgo tags. Good throw from Feliz is late, and Hidalgo scores standing up. We're tied at 2. Ronaldo winds in, deals 0-1 pitch. This is lined into center field. Jimenez coming on, he won't get there. Leadoff single for Juan Castillo, and the Grizzlies are in business. 2-2 game. Pitch bunted back towards the third base side. This is a great one. DeRiggi turns late and throws in time to get Hernandez. That was really close, but Hernandez does the job. Checks Espinal on third, now deals. 2-2 pitch is grounded softly through into left field. Espinal will score. Everybody up 90 feet, and Derek Bernard drives in the go-ahead run. 3-2 pitch, Hampu deals, swing and a miss! Strike 3! It's a glorious Friday night. The Grizzlies are victorious on Independence Day. Another beautiful night for baseball in downtown Fresno as the Grizzlies host the Nuts for the 5th game of 6 this week and the 2nd of 3 here at Chuck Chansey Park. Shen working out of the stretch, 1 out and the runner on second. 1-2 pitch to Kalaz, and this is chopped up the middle and through past Celestin into left center. Hernandez will score, and Robert Kalaz adds another RBI to that total. His 6th of the series as the Grizzlies take a 1-0 lead in the first. The 1-1 pitch, Herrera deals, and it's skied into left field. Bernard coming in, Ventura tagging. Bernard makes the catch. Ventura's going to tag. The throw home is on the money. They got him! What a throw from Bernard! Two-two pitch. Slider hammered deep left field. This ball's back, way back. Palakaye! 9th homer of the year for Kalaz, onto the California building and long gone. And this one's final. Modesto takes the 2nd game in downtown Fresno by the score of 12-2. The 6-run 7th inning was part of what propelled the Nuts.
Well, it didn't end the way the Grizzlies wanted to this weekend. They still get the split with the Modesto Nuts. But before the series ended, I had a chance to catch up with Kevin Fitzer and see how he's been surging into the summer months. Well, the Grizzlies have been heating up over the last couple of months, and one of the guys who has been in the middle of that is first baseman and left fielder Kevin Fitzer. Really do appreciate your time. How are you doing right now?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's been a lot of fun to watch you guys play over the last couple of months. Seems like the offense just keeps getting better and better. And obviously you were a big part of that in a strong second half. You guys are 9-14 at one point and have won 3 consecutive series to start the second half. What do you feel like has been the difference since the end of the first half?
I think start of the second half, we really started to focus on our own roles. I think at first we were all kind of playing for ourselves and not being more of a team aspect side of things. And I feel like now we're all starting to work together and putting together good at-bats and starting to score more runs. And the pitching staff's been big for us with limiting a lot of runs, and that's been huge for us the second half.
You're a SoCal guy, so I know a lot of your teammates have come from the Dominican, from Venezuela, from the East Coast. What is the challenge that maybe people don't understand about settling into the professional role? You talked about roles. What is the challenge in just understanding that maybe it's a different game at this level?
I think me coming from a college, I feel like in college you're big on the team aspect side of things. And I know professional baseball, a lot of people, it's a lot of individualized stuff. And I know people are trying to make it to the big leagues like myself. And I feel like now that we're all settled in, we're all starting to work together as a team. And I think that's helped us string together a couple wins here in the second half.
Well, it's been a fun brand of baseball. And then I think also, you talk about the team aspect. I think that's been one of the things that has shown up. Independence Day, you guys had, 3 sacrifices, 2 sacrifice flies and a sacrifice bunt. When you guys are playing like that, does it feel like that the clubhouse has become closer as a result?
Yes. I feel like a big thing we were harping on this year is we have 3 things. It's get them on, get them over, and get them in. And I feel like that's starting to come together as a team. I feel like a lot of us at first are just trying to, get hits and get on base and stuff like that. But I feel like now we're all trying to work together and score more runs and be more on the team aspect side of things.
So now that you have that, and you talked about the roles, what do you see yourself as a professional? Where do you start finding, okay, this is maybe the template or the model that I'm trying to become as a professional baseball player?
I feel like coming from Cal State Northridge and coming from Southern California, I feel like I've always been a big team aspect guy, and I root for my teammates all the time, and I feel like I'm going to continue to do that for the rest of my career. And I feel like me going out there every day, playing hard and trying to help the team win, I feel like that's a big part of my game, and I feel like that should be a big part of everyone's game. And I feel like doing that myself, I feel like rubs off on other guys, and I feel like that's starting to happen and starting to show out on the field, and that's why I've been successful so far.
Can you take me through, as this power has progressed, 3 homers over the last month, and doubles and triples have been there all season for you, but what adjustment has kind of taken you month to month where you really feel like nobody's beating you at the plate?
Yeah, I feel like at first I was a little bit hesitant on at the plate, just kind of swinging at pitches all over the zone, and I feel like I was kind of narrowing down my approach now and really dedicated on staying to the fastball. And I feel like when I'm really focused on being on the fastball, I'm able to hit that off speed pretty well. So I think just narrowing my approach down and working on that and being more focused on that and trying to make myself more adjustable at the plate, I feel like that's helped me out.
Well, talk about the adjustment off the field a little bit too. The life is a different sort of grind. You're at the ballpark every day. You're in a new part of the state, at least for you. What sort of changes have you made or not made in terms of just being consistent and being a professional baseball player?
Yeah, I feel like with this sort of schedule, I have not done that before. I think you're at the ballpark literally all day, and then you go home to sleep, and then you're back out here again. But I feel like having this professional lifestyle, I feel like you need to be able to flush stuff very easily, and I feel like every day is a new day and every day is a new opportunity to prove yourself, and you got to come to the ballpark with a fresh mind and a new mindset every day that if you put in the work every single day, that you have a chance every day to have success.
Well, again, I think
watching you work, watching the way you interact with fans and teammates. You're a guy that's impossible not to root for, and I think it's been fun to get to know you a little bit. What do you got a break coming up in a week, not to look too far ahead. What are you looking forward to the most in that break, in that little respite when you talk about you're at the ballpark all day? So what are you going to do with that little bit of free time you get for a couple of days?
I'm going to head back home. I think I'm going to go to the beach maybe a couple days, kind of enjoy the beach down there. Haven't been there in a while. And I'm going to get a golf round in myself with one of my roommates from college. And just kind of a mental reset. I feel like it's been a lot of baseball and been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of emotions so far. And it's my first year, and this stuff it's amazing out here. I mean, I feel like I'm coming to the ballpark every day playing baseball, what I love to do, and it's just a little reset, kind of go back to my hometown, see some of my friends, and then be back here ready to go.
Of course, you're a SoCal guy, so of course you're a beach guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it is a joy to get to come to the ballpark every day. Appreciate people who don't take that for granted. Fitz, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Grizzlies first baseman and outfielder Kevin Fitzer.
And that'll do it for this week's episode of In the Den. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks again to Shashwat, Chitnis, and Kevin Fitzer for taking time out of their busy schedules to talk to us. Next week is the All-Star break, but we'll take a look back and see how the Grizzlies performed this week against the San Jose Giants. Hope you'll come out a great week on tap as the Grizzlies play the first-place Giants. It's much-needed wins as the Grizzlies are battling a North Division foe here at Chitnis Park, and we need you to support them every out of the way. On behalf of the Fresno Grizzlies, this is In the Den. Thanks for watching.
Tyler Hampu trying to slam the door shut. 3-2 pitch. Hampu deals. Swing and a miss! Strike three! It's a glorious Friday night. The Grizzlies are victorious on Independence Day.